Good morning and welcome from Sangkhlaburi, Thailand on Sunday the 22nd of February 2026. So I'm staying a couple of days here before heading down to Sangkhlaburi, and this place isn't really visited much by Western tourists. This is the second day that I've been here, and actually I haven't seen any as yet, and I've been to quite a few of the busier tourist attractions, but still no Western tourists. It's predominantly Thais. I've seen a few Chinese, but again, not many. And what a cool place it is. It's really like going back in time, and it sort of reminds me of places I visited, you know, nearly 25 years ago now when I first came to Thailand. The accommodation is very basic, as you'll see in the video. Transportation here is a little bit hard if you don't have your own vehicle. There'll be a little bit of bus changing to do, and the mountain pass, which you have to drive through to reach here, also is semi-technical, I'd say. You wouldn't want to make the drive if you didn't feel comfortable, you know, driving in mountain conditions. And there's a few areas where you do have to sort of use your engine to brake, because the descents are so long that if you just use brakes, you'd probably start to struggle with brake fade. But yeah, what a beautiful place. So we'll head off now. I've got a rough idea of what I want to see today. We'll see how it works out, and let's see what's going on with the Mon people of Sangkhlaburi. So I've just come up into the centre of town now, and this market here is pretty much running 24/7. I came here last night when I arrived for a bite to eat, and just like any provincial town sort of markets, it does seem quite well stocked. With it being near Burmese border, I think they'll get quite a lot of the root vegetable imports, which you can't grow in Thailand. But just over at the other side there's a row of little cafes which are placed quite well, so they can just nip in here, get fresh produce and cook it up for you. And I ate there last night, and I'm gonna call there and get a bit of soup, I think, before I head off for a day looking around. But on the night it's really busy as well. They had a band playing last night, but there's definitely no Farang tourists. There's no Western tourists here. I've not seen any of the white people as yet. It's just predominantly young Thais, really. It looks like, because there's a lot of campsites, so young Thais can come here, and for 100 baht a night they can pitch a tent and have a little bit of an oldie. So I'll have a bite to eat now, and then I'll head off around town and see what's happening. So these are the little restaurants that are at the back of the market, and for 100 baht I've just got a geng som pla, rice, a fried egg and water. So it's certainly not out of anybody's budget. And I ate here last night and the food were really good. So give these areas a try, just up round the daytime and night market. So I'm just at Wat Wimikaram, which is sort of just on the mountainside. It looks down onto Sangkhlaburi. It's pretty busy today. There's a wedding and a fun fair that's set up just down the road. When I say fun fair, it's a few stages at the moment playing unbelievably loud Thai car park techno, but apparently they're having a big party and fun fair tonight. But this is pretty impressive. Sort of reminds me of something more Hindu that you'd like to see in Malaysia maybe. I'll have a walk around and see if I can get inside. It's certainly a huge structure once you're up here. I'm not 100% sure if I'm meant to be up here, like, to be honest, but if I'm not, they'll only ask me to come down what I'm not hurting anything. That's a bit of fresh sugarcane juice for 20 baht. It's not a bad deal. So this is the big, huge pagoda that sits at the end of the complex. I think there's a wedding and a funeral on today, so busy at both ends. These doors are pretty beautiful, all from teak as well. So this is the place where I'm staying, in the Mon village. Most of the places that you are going to be able to stay in the Mon village, if you actually want to stay with it in town, you know, with the people, they're going to be homestays, so they're going to be places like this. So I booked this place for 2 nights, and they're just a small bamboo huts, and it was £15 including Agoda taxes for 2 nights. So the shared bathrooms, there's a set of bathrooms for men and women and showers. There's a little kitchen area if you wish to cook your own food, have a brew on a morning, and there's some grab restaurants that will deliver to you. These platforms here are for tents, so in this area camping is quite popular, especially with sort of younger travellers that can come here and get a tent pitch for, you know, less than 100 baht a night, which is pretty cool for, you know, for younger travellers. It enables them to travel. We are right on the dam here, on the reservoir. Yeah, and this is it. You can have a look inside. I mean, it's as basic as it can get, but you're not really wanting for anything. No aircon, obviously, just a fan, little area with a few toiletries, bottles of water, and your bed, mozzie to drop down on a night, and a little seating area to relax on an evening if you want to have a cold beer or maybe a bit of a smoke. But yeah, it's nice. The people are nice and friendly. The price is unbelievably cheap. But this is what you'll be looking at if you want to stop in the Mon village. It'll be something similar to this. So here we are. This is just outside my accommodation. You can see the Mon bridge there in the distance, and all these houses here are all from the locals that work out on the reservoir fishing, and that's my little place there, the little homestay. But you are pretty much in the Mon village in this location, and I'm still struggling to see any Western tourists as yet. I've not seen any. Maybe this evening. Now, to get here by public transport, I think you will struggle a little bit. There is a coach that comes here, but I think you might have to change at Kanchanaburi before you make the journey over the mountain top to get here. Getting around town with grabs and, well, motorbikes, there's no grab, but these local taxi drivers. And I went to a bar last night for a beer, and it was sort of on the outskirts of town. There was no motorbike taxis. It was sort of 11 o'clock by the time I was coming home, and somebody from the bar just brought me home. They just said, "Oh, don't worry about it," and they'll drop you off. So the locals are friendly. You can get around town in a fashion, but it is preferable to have your own transport. So this is the Mon village and the famous Mon bridge. This was built in the mid-80s, sort of 86, 87, and it was built due to the rising water of the reservoir, making it so that the Mon people couldn't get across to the established town of Sangkhlaburi. It's about 850 metres long from buttress to buttress, and it was made all by the Mon people. I mean, it's still pretty sturdy. I know they've stopped letting sidecars across now and cars. There's 2 big girders at the ends to stop you coming across, but it feels sturdy. I mean, looking at some of the stretchers and ledges that are holding it up. Below, they look a little bit weathered, but it's certainly very functional. I was just speaking to the guy at the resort, and he says when rainy season comes, it basically rains every day of the week, and maybe they have a couple of hours without rain. So you can imagine the reservoir will certainly increase in shoreline height. It looks pretty cool on the night. I must admit, it's very picturesque with the very simple lighting, but because of the size of it looks really good. Yeah, and there you are. I mean, it is a really beautiful area. The end of burning season is sort of approaching. This morning there was a slight haze, and it was from smoke, it wasn't from temperature change. I can sort of see a little bit of it now in the distance. But it's not been bad enough to affect me. It's not, it's not giving me a sore throat or anything. But yeah, I'm going to head over now. I think a little bite to eat, and I'm going to see if I can hire a boatman to take me out to the sunken temple, the hidden temple, which I presume now, with the water levels, it might not be so hidden. So we'll go have a look. We'll see what's going on there. So I've just stayed at this little restaurant here that's right at the Sangkhlaburi side of the Mon Bridge, and there you can get a decent look at how the bridge is constructed there. I don't know what the maintenance plan is for it. It looks like there's stuff that gets stripped out and replaced. But yeah, I think I'll probably not mind sort of a Nissan Micra style vehicle to cross it, but I don't think I'd be crossing on anything bigger if I were driving across. If you do come and you're fancying a boat trip, I've just spoken to these guys here that are chilling on the bridge, and they're all boatmen, and they have a multitude of different trips that can take you out on the lake, varying from sort of 300 baht to 1,000 baht. So we'll have a bite to eat and let's get out on the reservoir. So I've just spoke with the guys that helm the boats, and 400 baht for 1 hour out on the reservoir. It's just approaching 4 o'clock in the afternoon now, so it's a little bit overcast in parts, which won't be too bad. It'll keep the sun off us. There's only me on the boat, so I've got a private boat to myself for 400 baht. I've just noticed these are pretty nice. So this is on the Sangkhlaburi side. Get yourself a nice little floating room here with a kayak straight outside your door. Yeah, so the guy just told me to come down here, and apparently my boatman will appear in minutes view. Right, let's go. So this is the sunken Mon temple. So this is actually the location of the original Mon village, where the people had to move out for the construction of the dam in 1984, and they lost all their village here. So I think when the water levels drop right down, you can actually get access to the main part of the temple there, but I think the water level will be slightly high now. We'll see. I'll see if I can get in and have a look around. Oh, it's definitely fully submerged. So just over that side of that mountain ridge there in the distance is the Myanmar border, and there's still conflict going on between the insurgency and the government at the moment. But when you see this landscape, imagine how hard it must be fighting in an environment like this. I would say it's pretty unforgiving. So my boat helmsman's just dropped me off here. I'm not 100% sure what we've got up here, but it's worth going having a look. Right, so we've got an old Mon temple that's just set back off the shoreline. I'm still finding it really strange that all the locations that I've been to today, I've still not seen any other Westerners. I've not met any local expats. I've not seen any businesses run by expats, you know, looking at names and stuff like that of businesses. There's nothing that stood out to say that it's owned by a foreigner. So it really is a place where you definitely don't get many Western tourists. Oh, it's nice and cool in here. Right, and that's us just arriving back now to the Mon Bridge and Sangkhlaburi. So I'm just back in town now near the market, and I've come across these. So these are betel nut, and they're just drying them out at the moment. And at one point this was like the biggest used drug in the world due to the amount of Chinese and Southeast Asian people that indulged. I think it's a bit of a dying usage now. So that's the drying out betel nut there once it's separated. And you'll notice in places like this there's still quite a lot of old people that have the really red teeth, you know, the bright red stained teeth, and that's from chewing this nut. It is highly addictive, but now I think it's a dying sort of trend. I don't think any of the younger people partake in this anymore. But I am actually trying to find a broccoli shop, and I think there's only one in town. So let's see if we can find it, and we'll see what we can pick up from there. So this is the only place that you can get any adult combustible fun in Sangkhlaburi, and it's just down from the main market there. So prices range from sort of, you know, a few baht really for outdoor grown Thai stick. It really is cheap. They were selling huge bags for like 500 baht. They look sort of like in the half a kilo size really. And then the sort of top flower was 150 baht, but it does smell really good, and at that price it looks quite impressive, but we'll see later. I think I'll head down to the Mon Bridge now. Time for a couple of cold beers as the sun sets, I think. So it's about 8 o'clock in the evening now. I know there's a little bit of a jump from me riding down an hill on a motorcycle to it being dark, and there's a simple reason for that. I called at this place here, I had a beer, then I smoked a number down on that pier there, and then I went back and had a couple more beers. So I've had a very pleasant sort of late afternoon. My opinions on Sangkhlaburi, yeah, it's brilliant, it's really good. Amazing value for money. Like, you'd struggle to spend even 500 baht a day, realistically. Accommodation is very limited, you've got to accept that. There definitely ain't any 5-star options or even 3-star options here. You're staying in a shed with a bed or a tent or a very basic guest house, but it's really nice. There's enough to do in 2 days here. What I would say is, if you are going to come and you want to see things, I sort of just use all my own sort of motorbike taxi drivers and things like that. If you come to the Mon Bridge at the Sangkhlaburi side, there's a motorbike taxi rank there, and they basically offer a tour for about 800 baht, I think it is, per person, and you see everything, and that's including a boat ride. So it's probably better value to do that than do it the way that I did it. But either or, you know, it's still really cheap. Yeah, there's no real downsides apart from maybe you have to accept that it is real rural life, and the cockerels will crow at sort of 4:30 in the morning for an hour, that's a definite factor that's going to happen. But apart from that, yeah, it's great. The logistics of getting here is a little bit harder if you don't have your own vehicle, and I think that's the reason why there's a massive lack of Western tourists. Realistically, you know, you need a vehicle to get here to make it worth coming. But apart from that, yeah, I've enjoyed both days. I'll have a morning here tomorrow, and then head to Kanchanaburi for a couple of nights. So if you've enjoyed the video, thanks for getting to the end, and any comments, just leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.